Hi, I'm Imogen. After my last video where I talked about unschooling in university, I was asked this question: how did your parents contribute to make your unschooling a positive experience? So today I want to talk about how my parents have been involved in my unschooling and what I believe makes for a good unschooling experience. One of the big misconceptions about unschooling is that unschoolers are allowed to do whatever they like and parents just stand back and let them get on with it. In this idea, parents don't have anything to do with what the children are learning during school hours at all. But the reality of unschooling is very different. Children are allowed to decide what they learn, but I believe that a parent, like my parents, have to be involved with what the children are doing. As an example of this involvement, my mum has always been looking for learning opportunities for us, finding resources and suggesting areas where we might be interested in learning more about a subject. One of the most important things I think with parents and unschooling is that parents have to provide an example of learning. Children learn better when they have an example to follow, I think. My mum has always been very involved with learning. She's always learning something, and we, as her children, have learned from what she does. A lot of children, I think, view learning as something that happens in school hours, something that has to be got out of the way before you can get on with the interesting things of life. But really, learning is for life. You don't stop learning when the end of school comes round. No matter what you're doing in your life, you're going to be learning. When children see parents learning as adults, they understand then, I think, that learning is not just what you do in school, and that learning doesn't stop when you stop being school-aged, but that learning is something that you're going to do for the rest of your life. But parents mustn't only give an example of learning, they have to be enthusiastic about learning, because enthusiasm is contagious. When Mum gets excited about something, we all get carried along on this enthusiasm and get excited about it too. Because parents are still visibly learning, they're able to share their passions with their children. My mum has shared quite a lot of her passions with us children. An example of this is her love of Shakespeare. We have picked up on this love of Shakespeare, and as a family, we now share this passion. She's guided us towards reading Shakespeare's plays and watching productions, and we made the decision that we wanted to learn about this. And we all share this passion, and we discuss his plays, and we watch them, we read them, and it is one of our favourite subjects. Another example is her love of writing. As a family, we are a family of writers. And I first got my start on writing because I had the example of my mum to follow. We all write novels, and we all blog, but we're following the passion of our mum. And because we are sharing passions, we're able to share ideas and resources as well, which makes this sharing of passions and the learning involved a very positive experience. Mum might find a new writing book that she might share with us, or we might learn something new about blogging and share it with each other. And because we are all learning together and we're all sharing these things, we don't feel like we're isolated. We feel we're being understood. There is someone who understands what we're doing and understands how much we love it and how much it means to us. So sharing passions is one way that my unschooling has made a very positive experience. Another passion that we share as a family is our love of music. My dad is musical, and we all share his love of music. We belong to choirs together, we've sung together for many years, and we take this passion further on our own. My brother Callum and I, we both sing the psalm at our local church. We've had singing lessons, and because we all share this love of music, we're able to help each other with our music as well. When Callum is learning the psalm, because I know about music, I can help him. Or I can help Dad learn a new piece of music for choir. Even though Mum isn't really musical and doesn't sing or play an instrument, she still shares our passion by appreciating what we do, being an appreciative audience and valuing our love of our music. Sharing passions is a lot about trust as well. As an example, writing is very, very personal. When we write, we show a lot of ourselves in our writing, and sharing our writing with other people means that we're sharing a very important and private part of ourselves, and it means that we trust each other a lot when we share this. It's an act of trust to share passions. And sharing passions with a family brings us all closer together. Talking about trust, I think that another way that my parents have made my unschooling a positive experience is that they both trust me. I believe that an unschooling parent, or any parent, should trust their children. They should trust them in a lot of ways. They should trust that children will learn. Children are capable of learning on their own. They don't need someone standing over them or forcing them to learn. They need to trust that children are going to find their way to learning and to a love of learning, and trust that children will learn what they need to know and what they're going to need to know for their future. My parents also trust me to make the right decisions. Some parents, I think, don't trust that their children are capable of making the right decisions all the time because they're just children. But children are a lot more capable than people give them credit for. When they have a good example to follow, they pick up on what is right and wrong and pick up on what are the right decisions to make. Of course, they're going to make mistakes. Nobody gets it right first time. When I'm learning to play a piece on the piano, I make a lot of mistakes. It's just natural, it's part of learning. But we learn from our mistakes. When we make mistakes, Mum takes us aside and she talks to us. But she doesn't talk to us like an adult to a child. She talks to us person to person. She respects us and gently shows us what we've done wrong. She doesn't make us feel terrible that we've made a mistake, but she just shows us what's wrong with what we have done and shows us how we could do better next time. But parents need to give a good example and show children what to do by the way they live, so that children know what to do when they get into situations. So while in unschooling, parents do need to be involved with their children, they also need to know when to stand back, when to trust their children, and trust that their children will know what to do, and trust that their children will do the right thing. Another way that my parents have made my learning a positive experience is that they value what we learn. Some people don't see the value in all the areas of learning. My sister Charlotte, she's very artistic, but some people don't see the value in art. They don't see it as being practical. However, it is one of her passions, and she has always been encouraged in this. And every part of learning is valuable. It all teaches you something. One area that quite a few people don't believe is very important is the areas of computers and computer games. Computer games can be seen as just something that you can waste time on, but they do teach you important skills. You can learn problem solving from computer games, and you can learn computer coding and other important computer skills that can either improve the child's critical thinking or open pathways to them later on in life. Some parents limit their children's time on the computer because they believe that their children may become addicted to using the computer, or they see that their children are spending too long on the computer. I don't know what their families are like, but what works in our family is that computers, they're not limited, there aren't rules. They just are. They're tools. We don't just play games. We write, we blog, we research, we learn. computers are a part of life. We don't see them as something that is extraordinary. We just use them. As well as seeing computers as a tool, we just don't have time to spend on the computer all the time because we have so many other interests. We're interested in music and going running and lots of other things like that. So because we're busy with other things as well, there never seems to be a need to limit computer time, and Mum has never seemed to worry about that. I think one of the most important things to making a child's unschooling experience positive is that parents show that they enjoy having children, that they enjoy spending time with them, and that they enjoy unschooling with them. Because there is nothing worse, I think, than parents making children feel that they're unwanted or a burden or breaking into the parent's life. Unschooling is not just a way of schooling, it's a way of life. I think one of the most important things to making a child's unschooling experience positive is that a parent shows that they enjoy having children and that they enjoy sharing time with them and unschooling with them. And not to show that they're worried about the children and worried about their future, because if the parents are worrying about what's going to happen to the children in the future, worrying whether the children will be ready, then children are going to worry too. And parents should have confidence in their children and their abilities so that children will have confidence in themselves. As an unschooling family, there really needs to be a general atmosphere of joy in the house and enjoyment of life and unschooling and learning and just being together. That atmosphere in the house is one of the most important things to making any unschooling experience positive, I think. At the basis of it all, I think, is faith, sharing faith and talking about faith, praying together, talking, discussing, and living it. Faith is the most important thing in my unschooling experience, and sharing that faith together and living it together.